my favorite people. We're going to be talking about ratio word problems today. We've explored ratios a little bit, but now we're going to dive into the problems of the words. Remember, the most important thing about ratios is that order matters. The word problem is going to tell you which category to put first and which to put second. So you have to pay attention to the order. That is the most important thing. All right, so let's look at, example 1. Example 1 said, Maya went shopping for Halloween candy. For every 3 pieces of chocolate she has, she got 5 pieces of fruity candy. If she has 24 pieces of chocolate, how many pieces of fruity candy does she have? There's a lot of different strategies we could use to figure this out, but I'm going to use a double number line. For every 3 pieces of chocolate, so that seems important, so I'm going to box that in. She has 5 pieces of fruity candy. If she has 24 pieces of chocolate, how many pieces of fruity candy? So we're going to make a little key for ourselves. We have chocolate over fruity candy. I'm just going to put chocolate over fruity. So for every 3 pieces of chocolate, she has 5 pieces of fruity candy. So if she has 24 pieces of chocolate, how much fruity candy does she have? Well, let's make these double number lines. With a double number line, remember double 2, you're going to create 2 number lines. And you take the original ratio and then you're going to expand it. So here's 3 chocolates. I'll put a little key there to 5 fruity candy. I'm going to put 5 fruity. All right, so we want all the way to 24. So we have 3, 6, 9, 12. And we're just counting by 3. 15, 18, 21. Here's our 24 of those chocolates. So now I'm going to line up my dashes directly underneath the chocolate pieces. But now for this line, I'm going to count by 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Now I've created just a ton of equivalent ratios, right? So 3 to 5 is equivalent to 6 to 10, and 9 to 15, and 12 to 20, all the way down to this 24 to 40. So if Maya has 24 chocolates, she has 40 pieces of fruity candy. So that's how we can see which ones are equivalent. And this really helps with those choose all, this double number line strategy. Remember, and you're just counting by the number in the original ratio. We could have also used the common multiplier strategy. So I can think to myself, if I'm really good at my facts, right? I can think to myself, okay, what times 3 would give me 24? Well, that's times 8. And then if that happens up top, I have to do the same thing to the bottom. So I could just times 8 down here, and 5 times 8 would still give me that 40 answer. So there's a lot of different strategies. You just have to figure out which one works for you, right? Nobody else but you. All right, this one gets a little trickier. This says Oliver has 4 red buttons. I'm going to box that in. That seems important. For every 7 white buttons. 4 to 7. So 4 red to 7 white. It says, which of the following could be true about the total number of buttons in his bag? So I have all of these different options. A, he has 16 red and 21 white. Or B, he has 20 red and 28 white. Or C, 16 red and 28 white. Or D, he has 8 red and 7 white. Well, I know he has more white buttons than red buttons. So I can totally get rid of D at this point because that one has more red than white. And in my original problem, there's more white buttons than red buttons. So again, multiple strategies. You can use a double number line strategy. You could use common multiplier strategy. So let's try the common multiplier strategy. Let's look at question A. And we just go, option A. We just look at each one all the way down. So let's make ourselves a key. Red to white. And I'm going to write it like a fraction, even though it's part to part. It's okay. It just makes it sometimes easier to see my thoughts. So 4 to 7. Let's check A. A says if he has 16 red, there's 21 white. Well, okay, let's think to our facts. 4 times 4 is 16. 7 times 3 is 21. And since these numbers are not the same, it cannot be A. Boop, it's not you, bro. All right, let's look at the next one. We can keep our original 4 to 7. So B says for every 20 red, there's 28 white. Well, let's say 4 times 5 is 20. 7 times 4 is 28. Those numbers are not the same, so it can't be B. Well, by process of elimination, it has to be C. But we're good mathematicians, so we're going to check. So let's look to see what I get with C. 16 red buttons, so that would be up top. 28 white. Well, 4 times 4 is 16. 7 times 4 is 28. And since those numbers are the same, C is our answer. Now, we could have done that in a double number line and made a number line counting by 4s and then counting by 7s to find that answer, or you can use that common multiplier strategy. Remember, at the top and bottom, or left and right, depending how you write it, has to be multiplied by the same number. All right, last one. Let's see. This one says Ella is making a cake. She needs 2 eggs for every 3 cups of flour. That seems important. 2 eggs for 3 cups of flour. If she wants to make the cake super big and adds 5 eggs, how many cups of flour does she need? So let's make ourselves a little key. Eggs over flour. So for every 2 eggs, there's 3 cups of flour. So now if she has 5 eggs, how much flour does she need? Well, off the top of my head, I do not know 2 times what equals 5. I know 2 times 2 is 4 and 2 times 3 is 6, but I haven't really memorized 2 times what equals 5. If you get a problem like this, don't worry. You're going to use that Desmos calculator, right? So let's pull up our Desmos calculator, and we have 2 to 5. Well, to figure out what I multiply by here, I divide if I'm working backwards. So I'm going to take 5 divided by 2. And that tells me that my common multiplier is 2.5, 2 and 1/2, right? I can check that by saying 2 times 2.5, well, is 5. Remember, in order to keep this equivalent, what I multiply up here by, I have to multiply down here by. So let's take in our calculator 3 times 2.5. And I get that if there's 5 eggs, there should be 7.5 or 7 and 1/2 cups of flour. Boom, just like that, it's that easy. So just make sure you use your resources and use your strategies. If you have any questions, let me know. Love ya. Bye.